mention. I want us to conclude, but Njeri, so what happens in a mention? Is there any decision or direction of significant proportion?
Sam, it's actually a hearing. I think maybe they said mention in a... Maybe they mistook it for mention, but the order directed for hearing. What I want to say, Sam, is I want to disabuse the notion that any public participation was conducted in regard to the impeachment of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. There's a matter that has been decided by the Supreme Court of Kenya, BAT Tobacco, and anyone who wants to refer as to what public participation should entail can refer to the same, so that I don't belabor the point. But it should not be illusionary. It should be with due, reasonable notice.
Yeah.
The notice that the National Assembly published on the dailies was actually at, it was published on the same day that the public participation exercise is supposed to be conducted. The one that was on the newspapers, there was nothing on, I didn't see anything on Citizen TV. I watched Citizen TV on that day. I didn't see anything on my local media station, my local language media station, which is Inoro or Kameme TV. So how do you expect members of the public to avail themselves to a public participation exercise that you have published in the newspapers? How many Kenyans, first of all, read newspapers? And then you have also published on the website of the National Assembly. How many Kenyans have access? How many voters in Kirinyaga County?
That communication is independent of news media reporting.
Yes, it is. It is a gazette notice. The ones that I think maybe even the dailies today might have one of them. You've seen how they make them. They say the time, the place, the location, the reason, and any other information that they feel is relevant. So let us not pretend that it was a PR exercise for all purposes and intent.
Let me just say something on public participation.
Just a moment so that we conclude on this question of, because yes, I've looked at the directions by Justice Githiru Frida Mugambi, that the directions were there will be a hearing. Let me just see it. Inter partes hearing for hearing inter partes on Tuesday, 22nd October at 11 a.m. in open court number 18. What could happen in such a hearing? Are we likely?
Well, from my experience, although it's a hearing, at times even a mention becomes a hearing of some sort.
Yeah.
What will happen today, first of all, is they'll check whether all material facts have been filed. And probably the court could also request for submissions. So today, it will be like, setting the court, pre-trial sort of chamber. Yeah. And then they will check, there will be arguments from both sides, all these letters and all these pending issues, preliminary issues. Yeah. And then the court will give way forward and most probably, give more time or extend the orders of Justice Mwita.
Okay.
Because if the orders of Justice Mwita are not extended, then there's no need for a hearing. So they may be given more time.
So it's unlikely that there could be clearance for Professor Kithure Kindiki to be...
Most unlikely today, because even the judges have to hear...
It would be unprecedented in the history of jurisprudence.
Yes, they will hear first all the sides, and then now probably ask for submissions, and then now give a time for ruling, even if it is this afternoon.
Okay, all right. Yes. I want you to have the final word. Do you have anything to add?
I just want to add that you recall even impeached Governor Kawira Mwangaza is still in office. She had orders vacating or rather staying the proceedings at Senate. And those orders have still been extended because once you lift conservatory orders, then you beat the purpose of why we have to go through this judicial process at all. And it would be unprecedented in the history of jurisprudence of any rational democracy. And I want to implore on the judiciary, and I have immense respect for the independence of the institution of the judiciary, do not cave into the pressure of the executive or legislature or any other entity that is alien or human.
Okay, finally, Honorable Koech.
It's an extremely dangerous statement that she has made. She is literally threatening the courts.
No, I don't
know. I have not.
That the courts can listen.
Implored. I have implored.
No, it's okay, Honorable. This is interpretation.
The courts are independent. And we, from these other side that have voted for the impeachment, are okay with any outcome from the court. Because we respect the institution.
All right.
We respect that organ. Number two, on the issue of public participation, just to make sure that it's a debate, and I'm sure the lawyers are still asking if, in the first place, was it necessary to have public participation on personal capability? Does it require public participation? Number two, we are still it was just because of precedents that have been set in court in the case of former governor, Kawira Mwangaza. The impeachment was validated on the basis that there had not been public participation. But is it a requirement in law? That is a question that still lawyers ask. But nonetheless, I have faith in our courts.
Yeah, you have faith.
I have faith in our courts.
You have faith.
I think the marriage is irreparably damaged, and we need a new deputy president.
I do have faith in the courts that do not cave into pressure of the executive or any other entity.
All right. You have faith?
Well, I have faith in the courts, and I want to say that the attitude of the executive has been the court must listen to it, and that there's no need for anyone to be hurt. You know, the moment he keeps on saying this marriage is irretrievable, this marriage is of Kenyans. The government belongs to the people of Kenya. You cannot, Parliament and the executive cannot throw away the people of Kenya and say that it is retrievable between them. He say that it is retrievable between the people of Kenya, the executive and Parliament. That means no one will be elected.
Thank you, Senator Manzo. You know, I heard the Speaker of the Senate saying that the House will rise at a particular time. So this panel is to rise at 10 a.m., now rising at 10:01. That's our time. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Nelson Koech, Mheshimiwa Njeri Maina, Senator Manzo, and earlier on Danson Mungatana from Tana River. That's our time. Up next is Semana's Citizen. They'll also be taking you to the courts to see as soon as the proceedings begin there. Bye for now. My name is Sam Gituku. See you again some other time.